You know the law. Light just go. Chai. Oh God. Clash of the supporters loading. Welcome everyone. How are you all doing? Don't worry, my estate now, our light now 24 hours. So while we're waiting for the light to come back, sorry, I'm typing for TikTok. While we're waiting for the light to come back, there's some things I'd like to address. NEPA no they respect anybody or no mind them. Someone says you have to relocate to headquarters in the USA. No need. Just calm down. They will bring the light back. Should be now they watch them. It's 12:47. Before 12:49, this light go don't come. So just they watch them. Now, before we start the debate, I'd like you to, first of all, keep something at the back of your mind. Let me just use phone light in the meantime. There's a lot of people in the comment section. The counting the minutes is 00:47. There are lots of people who distract with the comment section. I noticed that yesterday. They come and they create a distraction. I tried to warn the black mentor about it, but the black mentor was like, yeah, allow them. You see, democracy does not work on social media. Okay? If you are not here for what we are here for, if you are not here after what we are here after, you'll be here after we have gone. So if you're not here after what we are here after, just know that we will remove you. If we are talking about horses and you start talking about mangoes, you are out. You can come in and greet people, but once we see that you are distracting people, if you are a household name, if you are someone that's been with us for a long time, I won't just remove a Maid Man Yo or a Rita or a Remy. I will not block them or remove them. I'll just lock the comment section. But if you are not regular with us, I will remove you. I wouldn't want the family to feel one kind, oh, Daddy Freeze remove me. I will not remove my family. I'll just lock the comment section. What I normally do is I'll mention the person. I say you are distracting. I'll lock the comment section. By the time I open it again, 49, 2 minutes. I told you. It's even because it's the middle of the night. Normally, if it's during the daytime, it takes like 45 seconds. If you are new to the page, I will rapture you. If you're new and you are causing trouble and you are chatting nonsense, I will rapture you. Okay? Have that at the back of your mind. I'm not under any obligation to have anybody on my page. Okay? Diary of a Canadian Mom, thank you so much for all you did last year. Diary of a Canadian Mom is leader of Team Peter Obi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, big shout out to Mo Musti too, amazing guy, and DJ Bongo Lee, my very lovely brother from the Tinubu family. Love you guys. Happy to have you. Has any bank contact? They have been contacting me. But let me be very honest. I'm tired. I've covered up too much for Zenith Bank. Too much. They've fallen my hand too many times. You know, there's still one 3 point. I say 3 point. There's still one 16,000 naira that they debited me just before Christmas till now. They've not reversed it. The 40,000 for my estate party. that I was supposed the payment I was supposed to make, that they ended up debiting me but not paying the woman. And then the woman did not have enough money to buy all the things we needed for the estate party. And me, that I don't pay the money, go my own. By the time she finally got to me, it was too late. So I couldn't even how do I put it? Someone says, who do I support? I don't support anyone. As a journalist, I should be neutral. As a journalist, I should be neutral. So forgive me if you want me on your side and I'm not. I'm passionate about a safe election. I don't believe there's any particular candidate that is better or worse than any other candidate. I believe some are younger and some have more prospects. I believe some are more, what is it called? I believe some are more, what is it called? Have more integrity than others. But to be very honest, I'm not here to choose. I'm here to create a platform where people can discuss. Atiku is the best candidate. Tinubu is the best candidate. All well and good. Happy I am for you. Happy I am for you. If you think it's Atiku, if you think it's Tinubu, if you think it's Peter Obi, all well and good. If you think it's Sowore, I feel unhappy that I didn't give Sowore a chance, even though he's the youngest. I feel, and the same people shouting for the youth, when they hear Sowore, they're not really supporting. So I'm sorry about that. There's so much to discuss today. Hey, I reached my Niger line. They also take 20K from my account. Till now, they've not refunded me. Avai una go see say Nigerian scam, Nigerian banking, Nigerian mobile networks. Everything is just slow. As in, Nigeria will just fall your hand. Okay? So let me start inviting the leaders. How are you doing? We're going to try to keep today as short as possible. Remember to take part in, this is the first edition of Clash of the Supporters this year. Who is going to win Star Wars? Last year, Star Wars, I think, was won by the Black Mentor. Peter Obi, you guys have the opportunity of making Star Wars look really good this year. Somebody says Sowore is good for SUG president. Come on, guys, calm down. Stop typing all sorts of. And also I'll use this medium to talk to my let me start inviting everyone. Sorry, I'm so disorganized. I'm exhausted. I've been on the road all day. Big shout out to Pere. Pere just sent me a message. How are you doing, my brother? Team Tinubu is Josie. Okay, this is Team Atiku. Team Sowore. Team Obi, Josie, Pisic, Josie. And I noticed a lot of pastors trying to do rejoiners against my comment on being together and not having intercourse. Josie P. Siki. Okay, wow, one more. Please be sending me requests. It makes it so much easier. I don't have to. Okay, I've seen. Nigerian pastors and Christians. If you have any scripture, I'm just doing this while I'm bringing everybody in. Ulu Shei. Any scripture that shows clearly, in clear terms, that an unmarried couple who is intended to be married and whose family knows they want to get married is committing fornication, please show me that scripture. Let's stop using ignorance to propagate. Sorry, Femi Aderoba. I'm looking for the last person. Let's stop using ignorance to propagate hypocrisy. Because I don't understand how this young man, I can't find Femi Aderoba. I can't understand how this young man can keep this young woman. Anyway, that's story for another day. But like I said, if you feel that I'm wrong, please, let's do this properly, scripturally. But we are here today not to discuss scriptures. We are here today to discuss our future. Everybody's internet is good today. What happened? Normally, we see somebody rolling, like, all of you are abroad.
I'm in Nigeria, as usual.
Be like say spirit, one person you go upgrade this year with this. You go relocate, you go jack.
Yeah, that's necessary.
Okay, what is today's topic?
Judicial reforms.
Judicial reforms. Now, each of the gentlemen here is going to try to show you why his candidate or his principal, as the case may be, is both candidate and principal, is superior to the. So Team Obi is going to make Obi look superior to Tinubu, who are going to make them look superior to Atiku, and what have you. You know? So, we're going to start with a 5-minute time limit. Which team goes first?
Team Ashwaju.
No, it's Team Obi. Team Obi goes first.
Okay, I'll go first. That's not a problem. We're ready.
But what these people is, they always look fresh. Is it me or people just look fresh? I've never seen an old person supporting Obi. I've not. They always
the freeze.
Young,
I'm not
fresh.
That young. I look young, but I'm not that young. At least I'm above 40.
All right. So let us make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, 5-minute time limits. We're starting with Team Obi. Now, let me introduce. I beg you guys. I always appreciate the way you guys buy stars and all that and all the things you do, you know. I appreciate you guys. I enjoy you guys. But please, if you want to buy stars, please start now. How do you buy stars? It is actually so very easy. All you need to do is go to your Facebook account. Just log into your Facebook account. You can only buy stars on Facebook. Top right-hand corner, you will see a search bar. Type Daddy Free, FREEZE. My page will pop up, verified page with the yellow background. This is what it looks like. You can see it. Scroll down to today's video. NEPA, don't come again. This is the video. Click on the video. You can see it. Then on the video, scroll down to the stars, bottom left. Click on it. You will see the stars. They will pop up. Choose the one you want to buy and write the team you are supporting. Just type Obi or Jagaban. You can see the light. It doesn't even take 20 seconds to come back. Jagaban or Atiku. Do you understand? I don't have badges on Instagram. Please forgive me. But I do have my stars on Facebook. So please support with stars on Facebook. All right, guys. So come over to Facebook now. Choose your team. I want to support Team Tinubu or Team Atiku. So just come and buy stars. Whoever wins will get a free post, and we'll make a lot of noise, and we'll have all the fun. So who starts first? All right. So I'm going to put you on the timer.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? 5 minutes, and your time begins now. 3, 2,
yes,
1.
Good day, Daddy Freeze, and good day, Nigerians. My name is Joseph, and I am fully obedient. Today, we're discussing the topic judicial reforms. So, simply put, judicial reforms refers to any policy framework, laws enacted, measures put in place, actions taken to enhance the smooth process of dispensing justice by the judicial arm of government. As our world is always evolving, there would always be need for judicial reforms to match the peculiar legal needs of a society with the aim of serving the cause of justice. Why is this essential? This is essential because true administration of justice is the finest pillar of good governance. I make bold to say that any reform that does not ensure the rule of law and serves the end of justice and equity is pointless. A recent Justice Sector Summit organized by the NBA in collaboration with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime identified the following areas where reform is needed in the Nigerian judicial system. 1, reforms relating to the judicial appointment and promotion. 2, reforms relating to judicial administration, particularly budgeting, funding, and accountability. And 3, reforms relating to speed and quality of justice delivery, particularly the performance of judges and their accountability. The above listed do not fully cater for the needs of the reform needed in the Nigerian judicial system. Now, I want to go specifically to Peter Obi's manifesto. Peter Obi promised in his manifesto to restructure the judiciary by the enthronement of the rule of law. He has promised to, 1, strengthen the courts of the Federation by increasing the number of judges and equipping them with the capacity to clear the backlog of cases and enhance the speedy adjudication of cases. 2, he has also promised to digitalize the judiciary so that you will cut out the corruption involved in it and also speed the process. 3, he has also promised to ensure that the constitutional separation of powers among the 3 arms of government is entrenched. Peter Obi, generally speaking, has been a major beneficiary of the court in his political journey and has also suffered setback due to the ineffective and inefficient system. First, his mandate got stolen as a governor but he regained it through the court. Secondly, he was impeached by the State House of Assembly and he was reinstated by the court. Thirdly, his tenure was prematurely cut short by INEC conducting an election, and he was also reinstated by the court. But the first instance I mentioned, he stayed in court for over 3 years. So his experience, which is because justice delayed, to some extent we can say is justice denied. So his experience, both positively and negatively, right, makes him really understand the need for judicial reform. Also, there's no evidence of Peter Obi disobeying court orders and court judgment as a governor. However, if we come down to the present APC government and the past PDP governments, they did absolutely nothing to improve or reform the judiciary. And the reason for that is because they do not believe in the rule of law. Like I said, any reform that does not ensure the rule of law, justice, and equity is pointless. So because they do not believe in the rule of law, they've done nothing to improve or reform the judiciary. More than ever before, during any democratic dispensation in this country, we have witnessed flagrant disobedience to court orders and judgment by this APC government. This APC government and the past PDP government have reduced our judiciary, our courts to mere toothless bulldogs who can only bark but cannot bite. Recently, we have two cases widely reported in the papers where there were federal high court judgments, which was a product of contempt proceedings against the chairman of the EFCC and against the Inspector General of Police. That judgment was totally ignored by the government of the day. Yet we have their full soldier here today wanting to tell us about judicial reform. Like I mentioned previously, any reform that does not ensure the rule of law, justice, and equity is pointless. Our current vice president, for the record, is a senior advocate of Nigeria, and one would expect that a major reform would happen owing to his background. But like every other areas, the current government has failed woefully. Interestingly, the topic was suggested by the APC people. Meanwhile, the APC has been in government for almost 8 years, and the PDP have come again with their promises. But Nigerians know better and won't fall for their empty promises. The antecedents of the APC and the PDP is that if they make any promise, expect the direct opposite. What they do is that last they will serve us breakfast of judicial destruction in good measures, pressed down, shaking together, and running over. That's what you see from the APC and the PDP government. Again, one other thing I also want to mention is the fact that. Okay, thank you.
You used exactly 25 seconds.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said time up.
So.
Okay. Sorry.
Time up. You've used 25 seconds.
Okay.
Please be timing yourselves. Oh, wow. We have stars. The first person has bought stars. Team Obi, Emmanuel Okoye. Team Obi is leading the Star Wars. Congratulations, guys. If you want to support, make sure you go and get your stars now. You know, once Black Mentor comes, when I don't go hear anything, that it will just go there. B. All right, guys. Time now for which team? Who goes next after Obi?
No, it's Atiku.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
All right. Please to the borders of your time frame. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right? 2, 1.
All right.
Action.
Good morning, everyone. As you've known, my name is Femi Adirogba, and I'm representing Team Atiku. Well, there are so many definitions to judicial reforms, but the main thing we need to understand about judicial reform is that is all about how we can ensure we have effective judicial system. That means how we can ensure that justice is being delivered appropriately or effectively. Well, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he has been committed to judicial reform through the promise of restructuring. And I want to believe that many of us understood and can remember that Goodluck Jonathan also promised us restructuring through confab report. And one of the elements that is very important in the aspect of restructuring is the constitutional review. We all know that a national constitution is the foundation of the existence and the peaceful running of a country. And one of the things that a promise through the constitutional review is to ensure that we have quality electoral reforms. Another thing a promise is the aspect of state policing. You will agree with me that there are a lot of people in police custody today that they never committed a crime, but for one reason or the other, they find themselves in the police custody. And one of the things Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is talking about is how can we ensure that we have a policing system that is effective and is efficient. And one of the ways he promised to reform the judicial sector is to ensure that every case that will actually be taken to the court are well investigated. And at the same time, there is no time lag when it comes to delivery of judgment. So in the aspect of electoral reform, he has been focused and concerned on how we can actually implement legal framework that we actually deal with underage voting. He is also concerned about the framework that we as well ensure that we don't have mass voting of unregistered voters. You will agree with me that many of these occur during PMB era, and we can all see it. Some of the elections that have been won in some states are all based on massive rigging. So Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is considering the ways we can ensure that we have a free and fair election in such a way that he who the masses wanted in a particular post actually get there. And the aspect of state policing, many of us, we agree with me that the MPF has not actually been functioning effectively. And this is a reason why we have bribery in that sector. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, through his restructuring platform or agenda, he believes that if individual states can actually have state policing, automatically our judicial system will be strengthened. It means that these criminals can actually be arrested appropriately, and at the end of the day, they can actually face the wrath of law. We know many of the people that have been arrested, and at the end of the day, they did not even get to the court before they were released, all in the name of bribery or some other activities. So he is coming to ensure that we have a state policing system that is actually strengthened and can also ensure that the criminals are jailed appropriately. Another factor that is considering in the aspect of restructuring is the upgrade of our correctional centers. You know, correctional centers is actually meant to correct people that have done wrong. Also, is also meant to actually take some people in custody until their case or judgment is being delivered. But across the nation today, we have what we call overpopulation in many of our correction centers. And if we keep following this trend, we are likely going to have a system that is even full of criminals, because many of the people that are going to correctional centers, they are meant to go there to actually be corrected, to actually be guided in the way they should live. But unfortunately, when they get to the correctional centers, they find out that they were not even being fed appropriately. They even find out that they were being maltreated when they get there. So Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is focusing on how we can expand our correctional centers to ensure that even when someone is being jailed for a criminal offense, it can come out being transformed. And another one in the aspect of delivery of quality judgment is that of digitalization of court system. He believes that if we can actually digitalize most of the things in our court system, there will be proceedings that are faster. You know, it is because we are still running on manual system. That's why a case against Asiwaju through Alphabeta was actually swept under carpet. Because one of the complaints they made there, they said, oh, the what was it called? The court that was actually making the case, they said they burnt the file system and they couldn't have access to the track record. So Alhaji Atiku Abubakar believes if we have a digitalized system, the court processes will actually be able to document things and retrieve any information about a criminal or alleged individual at a particular period of time. So I want to pause here and I continue later. Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. The first person to actually take time into consideration. Okay, and a 5-minute time limit also goes to Team Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes, I am.
Are you ready?
Thank you. Good day,
Your time
everyone.
has
My name is
started.
Oluseyi Bisiriyu. I'm here today to address judicial reform based on the vision of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Firstly, we have to understand the antecedents or the evolution of the judicial and legal system in Nigeria. The judiciary occupies a very important position in Nigerian society, whether during the military era or the democratic dispensation that we are in right now. This is because it is an institution that regulates socio-economic and political relationships, especially in modern times. Since the emergence of the first set of courts, which was the Court of Equity in 1854, and the first set of Supreme Courts in 1863 to 1900, the Nigerian judicial system has been evolving at a snail pace. And that is based on more factors about political change and power. During the colonial era till independence, the judiciary was not separate from the executive because it was a department under the executive manned by consulars and other administrative officers. It was after independence that the judiciary became recognized under the Constitution, the 1960 Constitution, as an independent arm of government. So we can understand where we got the idea, as we practice now, that the executive interferes in judicial system and judicial functions. In 1966, the judiciary lost its independence due to the coup d'etat by Abu Rosi and his cohorts, and only regained it under the 1999 Constitution, where the new democratic dispensation gained new power, and it became a new independence for the judiciary and the legal system. Since this time, there have been hope that the Nigerian judicial system will do great things for the Nigerian people. But unfortunately, due to so many other corruptions and other problems that have plagued this system, it has not evolved as it should have done. But certain states, under the tutelage and management of some smart people like Asiwaju, have done better at the judiciary level than many other states like Anambra. And we can't say anything about Atiku because he has not really managed any judicial system, or he was not responsible for the one for the Federal Republic of Nigeria anyway. So there are certain things that plague this system right now, and some of them, I'm going to list a couple of them, and they are oversaturated courts with heavy dockets that leads to delay. Full autonomy of judiciary at the state and federal level is almost non-existent. Comprehensive reform of the National Judicial Council, where the judges and magistrates are being elected, because it's plagued with some form of corruption or the other, or there is an influence of the executive to how judges are being appointed and magistrates are being appointed. The introduction of elective district attorneys at the local government to help the attorney generals of the state to reduce the backlog of cases and prosecution of criminals. The empowerment of court sheriffs to aid enforcement of judgment and end police abuse of the process. There is also the need for overreaching computerization of the judicial process, especially the law of evidence in court, because like my brother from the Atiku said, there was a case against Ashwaja, as he said, I don't know about it, where the evidence was lost and the case could not continue in trial. So the last one would be the funding of the system, especially the outdated system, and also the opportunity to give more remuneration to the judges so that we can establish their independence. Asiwaju has this all in his manifesto, and in my next time lot, I will present what Asiwaju has in stock to fix all these maladies that has plagued the judicial system and our legal system since 1854 to 2023. I rest.
All right, awesome. This is so 8 more seconds to go to 5.
I break that record.
Minutes.
I break that record now.
I've been breaking it. I've always been breaking it.
All right. Amazing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Team Tinubu for keeping it. They did so well. Team Obi currently leading Star Wars with 199 stars. Nobody else has got any stars for today. So we continue with going back to Team Peter Obi right now, and we are about to begin the rebuttals. If you are ready, let's make this
I'm ready,
happen.
yes.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Let's
yes. So
go.
I've listened to Team Atiku and Team Agbado Bishop. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the name.
Mr. Sheyi,
Yeah, yeah,
Mr. Sheyi.
yeah. So the truth is this:
Did you
you've
call
talked
me
about
Agbado Bishop?
no, not you. Your principal is Agbado Bishop, not you. Your principal is Agbado. Oh, you don't know his name. All right. For the record, his name is Agbado Bishop. So
It's not it's not funny, buddy. So go on.
it's not funny, yes, I know. So
Go on.
you gave us history class on the evolution of the Nigerian judicial system up to date, right? You said something about the manifesto. The truth is that your candidate does not even know what is in his manifesto. Because if you look at all the things he has said so far, right, just suppose it with what is contained in his manifesto, they are totally different. For instance, when he was asked what is he going to do about security, he talked about, I'm going to recruit 50 million Nigerian youth. What are they going to eat? Is it they're going to eat that is his plan, right? Number two, your current APC government, right? The vice president is a senior advocate of Nigeria, an SAN, right? SAN, right? He has not been able to do anything. Now you have two confused people. You have Tinubu, who cannot even put his sentences together, right? All it says is blah, blue, blah, blah, and your vice presidential candidate, who is also a confused person because he went to NBA conference. I'm sure you're a member of the bar. He went to NBA conference, and in that NBA conference, he stated categorically that he's going to be in charge of security, right? Why the president is going to be in charge of the economy. That's to say, it's reversing the role. Now, you know that by the constitutional provision, the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Why the vice president is the head of the economic council. So you have two candidates that are totally confused. Now you have a vice president who is an SEN who has not done anything, who has basically done nothing to reform the judiciary. And you guys have been in power for up to 8 years now with nothing to show for it. As for PDP, you guys were in power for close to 16 years, right? Basically, you guys are just birds of the same feathers because there's no difference. You guys were in power for 16 good years, did nothing about the judiciary. All we've witnessed so far during the period, both the PDP, APC was in power, was flagrant disobedience to court orders. There's even a recent one I did make reference to it when I was talking. You cannot be talking about judicial reform when you don't even respect the judiciary in the first place. Your party, both parties do not believe in the rule of law. They do not respect, they don't believe in justice and equity. That's why when the court gives the judgment, they can actually ignore the court judgment. So what we have in Nigeria today is a case of all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Because when it comes to people who are not members of the APC, when APC is the power, when they have issues, right, the court can deal with them. But when it comes to members of who are not members of APC, but when it comes to members of APC or people who are serving in your government, a different rule applies to them. So you see, you guys do not believe in the sanctity of the judiciary. You don't believe in separation of power. You don't believe in justice. You don't believe in equity. You don't believe in the rule of law. That is the focal point of any judicial reform. If you are reforming the judiciary, if you don't have this at the back of your mind, then you're not doing any. You're not making any progress because it's pointless. Thank you.
What
Is
is
it
today?
New Year?
World time 4 minutes 11 seconds. Big shout out to Cocoa Boy Music. Cocoa Boy Music just jumped into the arena for Clash of the Quarter Star Wars. He contributed 1,500 stars. Right now, Team Obi is still leading the Star Wars. No other team has contributed anything, so it looks like it's an Obi day. All right, over to you. The Atiku
All right.
Abubakar, your time starts
Well,
now.
I listened to Mr. Sheyi and, I find his history interesting. I find some of his points great. However, I don't know if he actually remembered that Alhaji Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was once a leader of APC, and the same APC we are talking about today, they highly humiliated our judicial system. Don't forget that is during the Buhari regime that the judges were being raided at night, and that is a strong issue in our legal system. You know, if Ashiwaju today will actually be talking about judicial reforms, you must have told us things that President Buhari has actually achieved while he's in government, because Ashiwaju was actually the APC leader that time. And one thing and one reason we have to consider Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is because he intend to eliminate undue influence of presidency on judiciary, and that is very critical. You know, it's not all about making promise, and it's not all about sharing ideas. It's about focusing on the issues we have and creating a framework for it. But before I talk about the framework, I also want to remind Mr. Sheyi of one thing. Don't forget, in 2009, this one of the presidential influence is seen in the speech of Adam Oshiomhole in 2019, when he said that anyone that actually leave PDP or other party to APC, that they shouldn't worry, their sins will be forgiven. I don't know if you remember that. And after that, so many interesting events actually take place. Let me remind you of one thing. I don't know if you remember of Governor Umahi of Ebonyi State that was charged with 400 million fund diversion under Buhari's, what's it called? They ensured that the man left the prison. Another thing is Senator Goodwill Akpabio. The same things actually happen, and this is all about the influence of presidency. And we don't need all this kind of system again. We need a system that can actually support justice wherever an individual is being jailed for one criminal offense or the other. The judicial system should ensure that he or she served his jail time accordingly. How about Dariye, that got pardon from Buhari as well? You know, all these cases are actually linked to Ashiwaju, not for any other reason, because he was actually the leader of APC. So someone who came publicly and promised us change in 2015, also reforms in 2019. And when he came with Buhari and they couldn't achieve all these stops, you are telling us to vote for that man at the same time? Honestly, that would be a grave mistake to actually vote for Ashiwaju, because he has been in capacity to influence people in government to do the right thing. And just like the man on top said, he said, what has actually, what's it called, Oshibanjo done when it comes to judicial reform? Well, I wouldn't want to argue that, but one of those things I want to say is that if Buhari is not even doing the right thing, I believe Oshibanjo should have helped him to get something done. So Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is coming with team that can actually ensure that we have an effective judicial system. And like I've said, one of the ways he intends to do that is to ensure that we have brains that can actually look into our constitution and review relevant aspects. And one of those aspects is actually the aspect of governance. How can we do it to ensure that people in government, or especially our judges, they are not above the law? That is one thing. Another issue that is very prominent in our judicial system is our judges being underpaid. He has promised to review the salary structure of our judges, and he wanted to ensure that they are adequately paid, not like Peter Obi. Don't forget, in 2011, where the court was closed for 4 months, you know, a particular state without court processes for 4 months. What are we talking about? This man has no respect for quality judicial system. And seeing Peter Obi, representative, talking about judicial reform is as good as he's only selling popcorn. So, but I believe maybe in other part of the section, he can talk on how Peter Obi wants to address some judicial reform in our country. Thank you.
Hey, everybody is trying to be within the time limit today. He got it 5 on the dot. All right, guys. So before we go any further, I'd like to throw out a Daddy Freeze question like we do on the debate all the time.
You know that?
After you now. Of course, I'm not going to let you, because I know you are going to keep to time. I'm just telling them. So there's going to be a Daddy Freeze question, guys. Please be prepared for it. You are right. I wanted to
Yes.
give you a hint
Tell
now,
us,
so you
tell us
guys
ahead
can
of
prepare
time so that we
while
can
I
prepare for you, Daddy
I think
Freeze.
it's good to give us a hint.
now.
let me everybody. So your time limit starts now, Team Ashiwaju. By the way, Peter Obi is still leading the Star Wars. So Team Ashiwaju,
Thank you,
over
Daddy
to you.
Freeze. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'll first address our pastor there talking about somebody being a bishop of Agbado. I could recall that you mentioned that Peter Obi was impeached and he got his mandate back through what? Was it not through the judicial system? You and APC was there when he fought to get his mandate back. My point is that you cannot eat your cake and have it. If you say there has been no respect for rule of law and they've not done anything to the judicial system, why will your candidate run to the court when he was impeached for whatever it is that he did? I don't know the details of that. Now, the other part of it is that Peter Obi has enjoyed the interference of executive in his action of taking state funds to his own personal company. In America, that is breach of public trust. You don't do that. In Nigeria, because there has been consistent interference of executive influence in judicial functions, no one could even go to court to challenge that action, even if it is a crime. So your man has benefited and profited from the maladies in the system. For the Atiku man, you said the judges were raided at night. That has nothing to do with the judicial system, because if it's at night, they don't do business at night. So if the court is not in process or in sitting at the time of the crime, then it is not as a result of judicial system. Now, I'm not saying that there has not been executive interference. That has been there forever. And like I said in my introductory statement, that the idea of executive interference was learned from the colonial masters, and we have improved and turned it into a hybrid monster that we use regularly for power's sake. Now, Atiku himself has benefited from executive interference in judicial system. When he was being charged with crime abroad, if the system of Nigeria was working, he should be repatriated and face whatever it is that is the charges abroad, because there is a committee of agreement of Committee of Nations for that purpose. But there is a discretion whether the government will exercise that or not. But he did not get himself repatriated, and no judicial process was filed for that purpose. So you can't come here and talk about court interference when both your principals have enjoyed the problems of the court problem, judicial system. So I would go on to say that sins might be forgiven, but not all sins will go unpunished. The days of punishing both your principals for what they've gained under the system is now, during the election. Ashiwaju has consistently used the legal system for every reason possible to reverse election through to corruption of PDP government, where your Obi was part of PDP and Atiku was part of PDP during those times. So you cannot say that they were not part of the system itself. Now, Ashiwaju himself knew the problem in the system. And I'm not going to say he's a saint in that system, but I'm saying that as a candidate, he is bringing in opportunity to change the system, introduce reforms, and one of them is to encourage equity before the law. Equity as it is done in Lagos State to a certain extent. And some of the processes in Lagos is already computerized and is moving not seamlessly, but to a certain extent. So I think that there is no case of any one of us attacking principal based on that. I think that we, all our principals, have reason to provide reform that they did not start. Thank you.
Perfect. Timeliness has been perfect. Quick question, all of you. Starting with Team Peter Obi. I don't know the right percentage, but from my opinion, I would say 80 to 85% of what we use locally is imported. And until a country can start exporting, that country's currency will continue to either dwindle or at best stagnate. What do you think your principal would do with regards to putting Nigeria on the map once again to become an exporting nation? Team Obi?
Now, I'm not going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you what my principal has said over and over again because I'm speaking on his behalf. So it's not a question of my thoughts. So Peter Obi has said time with that number, and he's the only candidate who has said that the problems we have in Nigeria is that we are a consuming nation, right? We do not produce anything. So because of that, we import everything. Because of that, our currency is very weak. We are not a big player when it comes to the international market. So if you listen to his messages and read his manifesto, I repeat myself, listen to his messages and read his manifesto because both of them collaborate each other. He has said that he's going to move Nigeria from a consumption-based economy to a production-based economy because what we discover is that the states in Nigeria, what we discover is that the states in Nigeria, they all go to Abuja to collect allocation without thinking of how to generate income for themselves. And Peter Obi has talked about the vast uncultivated lands in the north being our next oil, right? And to tell you that he has an edge over all the candidates, he does proper comparative analysis, right? Now, if you look at the outer ring of a £2 coin, it talks about standing on the shoulders of giants. That's to say, you can look at existing principles that others have used in the past that have worked for them and apply it to yourself. You don't need to create a new one. So what he did is he has compared other nations like China, like Bangladesh, like so many other nations, looked at what they did, how they were able to pull their country out of poverty, and then he said, we're going to do something similar. So we're going to be we're going to be a producing nation, we're going to be an exporting nation, both in terms of food and every other thing. My time is up.
I'm not giving you a full 5 minutes. It's just a short question.
Should I continue? Or my time is up? Okay. So you discover that he's far above, he's edge above every other candidate. As a matter of fact, Peter Obi has actually changed the narrative of campaigning in Nigeria. What used to happen is that for the APC, what they used to do is when it comes to election time, you see them going to roast corn with people and eat coin with people. Peter Obi has brought an issue-based campaign and he's telling Nigeria, I'm going to move Nigeria from consumption to production. And the ways he's going to achieve that, they are all contained in his manifesto. Just listen to his speech. Listen to the speech of Peter Obi. You get everything you want. It doesn't say, it doesn't come online to tell us Bala blue and the rest of it. It tells us his program, and every Nigerian, I'm sure every Nigerian, young and old, understands what Peter Obi stands for. Thank you.
All right, over to you, Team Atiku.
All right,
real quick.
The answers to that is actually based on what Atiku has said in the past and what he has done in the past. The first thing is that he believes that we need a knowledge-based economy. If you have $100 billion and you don't have a knowledge-based economy, no matter the amount of investment you make in a sector, you will not achieve exportation. So one of the way he believe we can have a country that has a good economy is to ensure that we have human capacity development. When people actually get the right information and adequately train on certain aspects of the economy, we can actually ensure that we have a sector that is functioning very well. Don't forget, during Atiku, that was when we have the launch of satellites, and it really helped us a lot. So another thing he tends to do is to ensure that he introduce stimulus to businesses that are struggling to come up. And he has made that promise over time, and we believe he's going to do that. Number three, he has the experience. He has invested in agriculture, in education, in transportation. We believe through relevant framework, he is going to put all processes in order, and he's going to ensure that our companies are actually operating the way they should operate. Well, Peter Obi guy has mentioned one thing. He said Peter Obi will move Nigeria from consumption to production. Peter Obi has been the largest importer of consumables in Nigeria, and that's one reason we are where we are. So if Atiku become the president, it will ensure that, number one, we have a knowledge-based economy. Number two, it will ensure that stimulus has been given to businesses that are struggling to thrive in this challenging environment. Number three, he is going to ensure that there are relevant bilateral trade agreements among countries, just like we have in different parts of the world. So we believe through these three concepts and strategy, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar can build an economy that can actually export commodity to other parts of the country. Thank you.
Awesome. And
So
finally, Team Tinubu,
I will, Asiwaju has addressed this in his manifesto on page 11. And the biggest part of it is reducing the emigration of youth from the rural areas to the city. And that is because he wants to revive agriculture in Nigeria. That was the main source of income for Nigeria in the 50s up to the 60s before the military came in. So one of his first plan is to encourage local and state governments to provide revenue-based coalition for the purpose of encouraging youth to participate in agriculture. Agriculture is the best means of exportation for us to have a good reserve, foreign reserve account or foreign reserve to do transaction, to make transactions in the international market. So based on that, he intends to bring in more firepower through empowerment of the youth. Now, the IT sector is also in a position of interest for the Asiwaju campaign. And why is that the case? Because most of the young people in Nigeria right now are trailblazers in the IT sector. And out of that, services can be exported through global marketing, that gives opportunities for this youth to become what they desire to become. Asiwaju thinks in a broader sense, right, than just thinking that we have to create exportation, we have to create produce. Yes, industrialization is necessary, but without manpower, without the labor force to push that, it's impossible. Now we have, at this moment, too many youths that want to engage in just administrative occupation, which is not by itself exportable in the international market. So Asiwaju is thinking about how best to utilize the strength and the population of our youth at about 60 million to provide produce, to provide products, to invigorate the industrial capacity of the country and to export more rather than to import more. We all know that Obi is one of the highest importer. We know that Atiku does not live in Nigeria. He's as diaspora as we can be, So we know that if he has the interest with all the money he has, he should be in Nigeria, pushing policies, pushing opportunities for young people, but he has not done that. Asiwaju has remained in Nigeria and always remain in Nigeria, except if he has to travel, and everyone does that. He knows the problem of Nigeria. He's a grassroots man. He's been at it. He's mentored people that have led. Obi, we can't even find somebody that he has mentored that has done anything good. And Atiku, people are either moving from PDP to APC, from APC to PDP, and some of them are in Labour now. So there is no loyalty to him in any way, and there is no political philosophy that they can abide with. But Asiwaju has a track record of producing in Lagos State, producing jobs, putting youth to work, producing agencies that employ people like Loma, like LASMA, and all these other agencies that have put people to work for the purpose of getting a better IGR for a state. We believe that this man can do it in Nigeria. All he has to do is get your vote as best as possible for him to implement all these habits, because humans are a creature of habits. Even when we are sick, we cannot jettison our habits. And if he has the habit of good governance over 20 years for multiple decades, he is the man to do it. He knows how to turn a barren land into a productive land. He has done that with the Lekki Free Trade Zone. He has done that with so many other places that was seen as barren in Lagos State and turn it into a gold mine. Thank you.
Time up, 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 time up. You have tried, but you overshot your time. Anyway, I just wanted to pick your brains on that. Now, I want us to move to the Bass Goes segment. Before I do that, let me inform you, this is how sorry, a lot of people are reaching me over that Zenith Bank post. They are stressing my life.
They took 5,000 from me too, and they didn't return it. I sent it to, yeah.
Zenith Bank
did not
try. They frustrated my life. And it's not just this ATM one-off. Yes. Over this Christmas period, I went to the supermarket next to my house. 16,200 naira was deducted. Damn. Up till now, no reversal. We're doing estate party in my estate. Everybody was to pay 40K. I transferred 40K to my neighbor and went out. My neighbor went to buy stuff in the market. The money was not enough because I was in a meeting, could not reach me. And even when she could reach me, I could not transfer another 40K because the last one was hanging. That's how we did not have enough money to get the stuff. And it just keep. I was live on this channel on Friday. Tasteboard sent somebody to come and meet me. I said, order Asun. I called the Asun guy. I said, send me Asun. The guy delivered Asun to pay 20,000 naira. I was on it for nearly 48 hours. Over 24 hours. People were all this. So you see, for me to come out there, to them is Daddy Freeze, you are coming out and you are attacking us. Those are the messages I'm getting. It's like people don't have sense. So. For me to come out, my frustration has reached here. I wanted to travel with Tasteboards. I'm entitled to BTA or PT or whatever it is they call that thing. At least I'm entitled to $2,500. Go and fill the form. We fill the form. Go and apply here. We apply there. Come to the bank. We went to the bank. Come to the bank again. The first time I missed my flight was practically because I was rushing to the bank because I had to go to the bank and still they did not give me the money.
That is wow.
They could. I said, if you don't give me, give my wife. As no one give me, no problem. At least give one of us. 2 people are traveling. At least give one person.
The system is just not good.
So, where I'm frustrated. For me to come, guys, it's not. I went to use one ATM and my ATM got stuck in one bank. It's been the last 3 months of frustration from Zenith.
That's bad.
That's right. Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we are back to the basketball section. I'm so sorry. Everybody just stressed me out today. Not you guys are doing so well. And I'm so happy with you guys and what exactly is going on. Okay. So basketball segment, I wanted to make sure Facebook is working and working properly. Don't forget, guys, go to Facebook and buy stars right now. Peter Obi is leading. I think Peter Obi won last week, if I remember clearly. Guys, come and support Team Atiku. Where are you guys? Team Tinubu is very easy now. It's just 1,700 stars from Peter Obi. Normally, those Tinubu boys will just come and do 5,000 stars, bam, and I don't win. And nobody did drag this thing with Team Peter Obi. This is our first clash of the supporters for 2023. Come on, guys. You guys can do better. You guys can do better. Go to the top right-hand corner of your page. Search for Daddy Freeze on Facebook. Daddy Freeze page. It's with 760-something thousand followers. It's verified. Scroll down to today's video. You'll see it right there. Click on it and buy your stars to support your team. It's called Star Wars, and we're having so much fun with it. So, a 10-minute time limit. We begin the bass and the boss. Big shout out to Coco Boy Music. Coco Boy Music is the highest star buyer for today. Of course, if you buy stars, you're going to get me to hail you properly. Coco Boy Music. All right. So, in the meantime, while we're waiting for stars, I think it's a good time for us to begin our bass boss. Are you ready, guys? Let the bass bossing begin.
Yes, it looks like the PDAPC people do not understand what it means to be a private citizen. Now, Peter Obi did importation as a private citizen. If you are doing, let me school you guys a little bit, because it looks like you guys don't even understand the difference between private citizen and someone occupying a public office. So, if as a private citizen, what I look out for is profit in business, right? But when I get into public office, what I look out for is public good, spending public money for public good. So all your argument from both the PDAPC guys is just ignorant argument. And APC guy said that Peter Obi invested money in his family business. How can you say invested money in his family business? He did not invest money in his family business. If I have shares in Zenith Bank or have shares in GC Bank, does that make it my family business? It did not. All your arguments are baseless and are based on ignorant premises.
Let me remind you something, sir. Let me remind you something. Actually, we are talking about judicial reforms, and it's so sad that you are defending what you should not be defending. Let me start by saying this.
Comment.
Do you know that? Do you know that Peter Obi, he actually accepted the claim or the accusation that he was involved in tax evasion?
No.
And this is one of the things he publicly said that. He publicly, go and check it. There is an authority site. No. This is not about website, bro. Wait, hold on. You are mixing things up. This is from an authority organization that Peter Obi claimed and agree that he participated in tax evasion. That is one of the judicial. It's true.
Let me read the CV of your principal to you. The CV of your principal. You can proceed. Right? I'm going to read the CV of a principal to you, right? Now, if you've worked in a place before, right, you get a reference from a superior you worked with. Now, the superior that Atiku worked with, which is the person of Olusegun Obasanjo, said Atiku is the most corrupt VP ever in Nigeria. That is the
the question, and that's what I told you. it's good for us to
That is
get
the
data.
reference. That is the
But wait,
reference
let me
from
let
his
me let me
thoughts.
let me lecture you. Let me school you.
No, no,
You
no.
know,
You
is
can't
one
school
thing.
me. You
Wait,
can't
no. I
you
can
can't be
school
ignorant.
you.
I
No
want to
one
school
is
someone
beyond
because
knowledge.
you are
No
talking
one is
out of
beyond.
ignorance.
No one is beyond correction. Let me tell you something. You know, there is first thing you ignore. Let me also remind you of this. There is difference between getting data and establishing fact. Before you can say someone is the most corrupt, it is only the judicial system that can affirm you as an headquarter of
No, no, you
corruption, not
don't
a
even know. I don't know. I
personality.
don't know if you are even trained as a
That is
lawyer.
the
So for you to
problem I'm
tell me
having
that it's
with
only
you.
the
Wait.
judicial system that can, that's a
Yes,
fallacy.
because
It is the judicial system that
let me
can
tell you,
convict
I can
you.
accuse
Listen
you.
to me. Listen
Don't
to
worry,
me.
let me
It is
tell you
the judicial
something.
system that can convict you. It's not the only the judicial system that can only say. There are two different things entirely. He
No,
worked with
no,
somebody.
no,
Listen to me. He
bro.
worked with
If the
somebody, and the
judicial
person
system
has
is
an
not saying that, that's what I'm telling you. You need to always understand the difference between data and fact. Anybody could allege you of anything. Like I'm arguing with you, and I can say, oh, you don't even attend school for one reason or the other. It is not
it is his
left for the
principal he
right.
worked with.
That is
It is
still not a
his principal he
reason to
worked
argue
with.
in that line. His principal could have said that out of
Not,
anger, out
not out
of
of anger.
anything.
Not of anger. Not out of anger.
Now,
Let me ask you a
let
question.
me tell you.
Let me ask you a
Okay,
question.
ask
Let
me
me
a
ask you a question.
question.
All the things you said about the judicial reform that Atiku wants to do, can you reference one place he said it? One place, one video.
You
All the
know,
things I've said about, listen to me, all the things,
you are only asking
hold on,
jam
hold on.
questions. See. I am sure you
All
are
the
not in
things I've said
Nigeria.
about Peter Obi,
The issues I'm
all the
having
things
with you.
I've
You are
said
not in
about Peter Obi,
Nigeria. The
he
best
said
TV you must
them
have
with his own
watched.
mouth,
The
right,
best
and
TV
are
channel you must have
contained
watched is
in his
CNN or
manifesto.
BBC. The best TV show you must have watched is CNN, BBC. If you have watched local TV, you must have heard him saying a lot of these electoral
I just
reforms
asked you a question.
several
I
times.
just asked you a question. Reference one.
Ah,
Just one.
why will you ask me to reference
No,
something,
you are
things he has been
speaking on behalf of
saying?
somebody.
Okay,
Reference
go
one.
to YouTube. Go and see him where he has been talking about judicial reforms.
No,
See, these things you are asking is just a question that is not relevant.
he does not even
If you've
understand
been
what judicial
watching,
reform is.
if you've been watching his campaign all this time, you must have seen him saying this over time. So how will I tell you that, okay, go to 10 minutes YouTube video and watch this?
I can,
If you have the time, go there and check where he has talked about
he
electoral
hasn't said
reforms.
he hasn't said anything because he's mute. He doesn't even know what he's doing. And as for the
You don't have a point. Let
as
me face Ashiwaju today.
as for the
Mr. He doesn't have a point,
You
as
see,
usual.
as for the
That's who
he
they are.
was saying something about
as for the
Obi
APC,
is a private person making money,
he did that as a
profit.
private person, yes.
Yes, we are talking about how the judicial reform either help you make money, avoid corruption, or even help you make corruption happen. And part of what make corruption happen is profit making. So you have just established that Obi doing what private people do to make money also have the
No,
tendency to
that is,
enjoy the benefits
you
of
see,
the
the problem
judicial
is that
reform.
you guys like peddling lies.
I'm saying that
That is not what I said.
you cannot say
I
people don't.
said importation. He did importation as a private citizen. Please don't misquote me. That is what I
So
said. Because
importation is business making profit. So if he imports something, he's going to sell at a profit,
of
and the
course,
profit belongs to
is
him.
that corruption?
That is
Is that
capitalism.
corruption?
Now, my
Is
point
that
is that we are talking about
corruption?
judicial reform,
Yes.
and we know that judiciary has a problem of corruption, of people bribing judges, of bribing police, of bribing the prison system. So it might not be a known fact, but I believe that Obi has used some money in his Fidelity Bank that he has found a way to avoid prosecution using the profit. So
I
that is
want to
not
assume
whether.
you are a lawyer. For you to say that you believe that, on what basis?
So because
So, wait,
Importation on its own.
it's
Listen to
becoming
me.
interesting. You can ask,
Let me
wait,
school
hold
you
on.
guys a
You
little bit
can ask
because
on what basis?
let me
So you can
school.
ask on what basis right now?
Yes, yeah. Because I made reference to his principal he worked with. Because you can't say somebody importing something is corruption. That is not corruption.
No,
It is allowed.
I
No,
said the profit can be used in the judicial system to influence to influence judges and all
You
that.
know, you
So
know,
you
you know,
cannot
you know
just
what I
say
was
that. You cannot
expecting
just say
you,
that because he's a
Mr.
private person, he is
Obi.
not
You know what I was
susceptible
expecting you to
to
say. I was
it's
judicial
difficult.
review.
honestly, while
Don't
I
say
was
that.
listening to you. Wait, hold on. While I was
The
listening
problem
to
is that it's
you,
really
I was
difficult.
expecting you. Honestly, I was expecting you while I was listening. I was expecting you to have told me things Peter Obi has done as a governor when it comes to judicial reforms. I was expecting you to have told me that, oh, this is the legislation he and the House of Assembly, State House of Assembly has made to ensure that there is ease of business in Anambra State. Unfortunately, all you keep blabbling all about is being Atiku, doing this, doing
No,
that. I don't know why Atiku is your headache.
no,
But let me remind you of
no,
another
let me tell you
thing.
something.
See,
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
let
something.
me remind you of another
What
thing. Let me
we
remind you. Let me
did
send
as
you
a
another
governor,
reminder.
number one, because
Mm,
when you talk about judicial reform, one thing that is very
mm,
important is non-interference
mm.
in the judiciary system, right? Peter Obi
Do, you-
never.
do, do you actually
No,
understand what it means to be a state governor? I don't know. Maybe you understand what it means to be a state governor.
that's because
You
you don't even
can
understand what is
sit.
called separation of power. Separation of
No,
power simply means that there are
see,
three
see,
arms of. Let me school you
see.
this
A
because you're talking about
governor, a
ignorance.
governor can,
Separation
a
of
governor
power.
can
Separation
recommend
of
for the
power.
state house of assembly.
Separation
A
of
governor
power
can
simply means
recommend.
that there's the
eh,
executive arm of government, there's the legislative
mhm.
arm of government, and there's the judiciary. So separation of power
Then
means that the governor does not interfere in the judiciary. That's
you,
the problem we're
you
having.
don't understand how the government works. And let me lecture you
You don't
again.
even know
We have
what you're
three
talking about
arms of
because
government.
it is
See,
very
no,
obvious your
no,
ignorance.
no. It is because you don't understand how the government works. The executive, they are meant to actually, curate certain things for the state house of assembly. And when the state of assembly get all these things, they can pass it into law. And I've asked you, what are the things Peter Obi has actually recommended to State House of Assembly to ensure that there is ease of business in Anambra State?
Oh, there's
And this is one of the reforms we are talking about. Don't forget that
no,
in Anambra State,
because we're not
we have,
discussing business reform.
wait, we have
We are
ethical
discussing
clash.
judicial reforms.
Yeah, judicial
Don't change the topic,
reform,
yes.
one of
So
the,
we're talking
okay,
about
one
ease
of the
of
things,
business.
no, this is it. Judicial reform is still all about ensuring that a particular geographical location is at peace.
That is
And when a
that is
location
not
is
judicial
at
reform, sir. With due respect,
judicial reform,
that is not
when,
judicial
okay, let me tell
reform.
you,
That is not judicial reform.
no, judicial reform, let me tell you, judicial reform, number one, it all starts with our police.
Off point.
How are they functioning?
Off
Well,
point.
the
Off
the
point.
state doesn't have that power. Okay, the state justice, how are state, what's it called, judgment being delivered? You are not getting it. What we are saying is that how has he been able to empower the judicial system of Anambra State? You are not saying this, and you are telling us to
Let me
vote
let me let
for
me tell you let me tell you
Peter
something. Let
Obi.
me tell
It
you
means it
let me tell
means
you
it's
some of
not
the
an
things he did.
achiever.
Let me tell you
It
some of the
means
things
it's
he did.
not
Let me
an
tell you some of the
achiever.
things
Now,
he did.
to
One,
Timasiwaju,
the
Timasiwaju.
most important thing
Mm-hmm,
is to allow the
mm-hmm.
judiciary operate freely. That is the most important thing in having judicial reform. Because
Okay,
if you
okay.
wait, listen,
Why,
let me
why,
school you a
why,
little.
why has
Wait,
Anambra, why has
calm down first.
Anambra judges, why has Anambra
Calm down
judicial
first.
system
You asked
shut
me a
down for 4
question.
months?
Let me answer
Tell
you.
me, tell me why they were shut down for 4 months. Why the
Sorry.
judicial system was shut down for 4 months in
Let me tell you what
2011?
happened. Let me tell you
Just
what
give me
happened.
that.
The federal government introduced a scheme of salary, right? And they wanted the states to implement it. Get it right. It wasn't owing them salaries. It was not owing them salaries, and it was not owing them any of their entitlement. If there was a committee set up that recommended a particular pay, right, which the state has not implemented as at that point, because of course the state has to look at its pockets, right, so to know if it can actually pay that particular salary. That's what happened that made them go on strike. But it was resolved. Unlike you people who have done nothing whatsoever. As a matter of fact, your principal has got no experience, so it should not even be the conversation in the first place because he's got no experience at
I
all.
think you are
When it comes to
disturbed. You are disturbed already. I understand how disturbed you can be.
when it comes to APC
So
people,
to
APC,
Timasiwaju, now
APC people,
let's get back to the
APC
track.
people, listen to me.
Don't
Just listen.
forget in
Hold
2019,
on first.
you are not making points. You are not making
I've
points. So
just answered
you
your
are actually
question.
wasting the time giving
I've
to
just
us.
answered
No,
your
your
question.
question is
Because all the
your
things you're saying,
response
saying
are
off
not in
point.
line. Your response are not actually in line. You are only
You
saying
asked
things
me a
that are
question.
not
I've given you an
contradictory.
answer. I've given you an answer to the question.
It doesn't align.
It is not within your
Timasiwaju now.
intellectual
Let's
orbit.
go
That's the
back.
problem.
Let's go back to
It is not within your
2019.
intellectual orbit. I
Wait,
understand.
wait. I can see Bongoli here now. The historian, Bongoli, the historian. Let's go back to 2019. I remember you can, I know you can remember that 2019 bullion ban scandal.
That's not a scandal. That's
Okay.
just like Obi said, a private citizen importing. That is a private citizen getting his money into his compound. So there is no scandal there.
You
You
know, you
cannot
know,
make scandal out of
you know
nothing.
when criminals,
Yeah.
when criminals want to back up something, they will always
So
find a place in
you
law
need a
to actually
crime. You
back it
need a
up.
crime to call somebody a criminal. So anyone with over 10
Mm-hmm.
million or more can get a bullion van.
Eh,
So if
okay,
he
oh
gets,
yeah.
as a
Let's
private person, when he is not a governor and he's not president,
eh,
and he has
On an
bullion van going into his
election
house,
day,
and you guys
on an
just assume
election
that it's
day,
corruption,
on an
I still
election
don't
day,
get it.
what's the deal
I
with the
don't get
bullion
it. What are you
okay.
talking about?
on an
Eh?
Let's
election
do
day,
simple. Let's do
on an
simple
election
arithmetic
day,
here.
So how is
on
that
an
a
election
Let's
day.
do
judicial
the.
reform issue? How is that a judicial reform issue?
Yeah,
Because he
yeah.
drove his bullion van into his house, into his domot,
Let's
inside
go
his
back.
own compound.
Bullion
And you need
van.
a
Let,
Bullion
so
van.
let's go back to
do
the
you need
topic.
a
Let's go back
restraining
to the
order,
topic.
or you need ex parte rule to have him not use a
I know
bullion van?
Bogoli must be laughing
Let,
where he is as
So
well. See,
let's
let me
go.
tell you something. Okay,
Let's go
talk,
back to the
talk.
topic. Let's go back to
that's
the
the
topic. Now,
topic too.
Hey,
as for
it's
the
about judicial reform. It's about
How?
judicial
How
reform.
as
now?
for the
Okay,
as for
okay.
the as for the
Let's go to the
APC
school
guys,
of logic and
as for the
philosophy.
APC guy,
Uh,
as for the APC guy.
yeah.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
your principal, you've said so many things about the things that are contained in his manifesto. Your principal does not even know what is in his manifesto.
How
That's
do
the
you know
truth.
that?
No, because if you listen to all the things,
At a
let's
point
just
on
let me
Twitter,
finish. Let me
do you
finish.
know
Let me
at a
finish.
point on Twitter,
Let
do
me
you know
finish.
at a point on Twitter, they cannot even count how many lies Obi has
Let me
spoken. People got tired of it because he does not even know his own program.
go
Now, you
back.
are
Let's go back.
talking about what Asiwaju
See,
said,
let's talk
and
fast here. See, let's talk
let's
fast
stay
here.
in the
Let's talk
lane
fast.
of judicial
Mr.
reform.
Sheyi, let's talk fast.
Yes,
Now, let's do simple
let's
logic
do
and philosophy
judicial
class.
reform, not what
See,
our principal knows or
there
does
is
not
there is
know.
a rule of
I'm not into that
antecedents
business.
and
Let's talk judicial
precedent.
reform and how
Yeah.
that can help
You
Nigerians.
know, you know, if we actually want to talk about judicial reforms, there is one thing about moral and ethics. And Mora actually informed us that our law is in place and there is little to what you can actually bring, amount of money you can actually bring to your home. That is number one. Number two, the day
Which
Ashiwaju
is
actually brought,
no, is
there
it
is a law,
morality or
there is a
law?
section, there is moral and there is ethics and
No,
there
no,
is
no.
law.
So
Law.
Please don't
I'm talking about law.
don't
morality
say
does
things you
not
don't
govern
know.
the amount of money you own. That is
Okay.
what capitalism is all
Okay.
about. You
Let's
can
let's
have
go
as much
back.
money
Okay.
Let's
as
go back to the
possible.
Okay.
topic.
Okay.
Let's go
So,
back to the
Okay.
topic.
and
Now.
how you move
Now.
your money is a private policy of the bank, not the government. So don't
on
abrogate
election
rules
on
of.
election day, when we have Aregbesola accused Tinubu of this, of vote buying.
That is
He accused him of that.
so. You see,
He accused him of
if
that.
he accused
I
him,
can
is he
remind
part of
you.
the judicial system? Is Aregbesola part of the judicial system? If he's not
Okay,
part
and
of the judicial system, how
that
is
was
All right,
why
his
they
all
moved
right,
the
decision
case.
all
important?
right.
That
Let me
was why
finish.
they moved
Let
the
me finish.
case to court,
My question
and
is
the
for the
evidence
APC
got
guy.
burnt.
Sorry.
Time up, time up. I'm going to give you injury time. I'm going to give you 5 minutes injury time. I can see you guys are having fun, and I didn't want to interrupt, even though a lot of people are saying stop them, interrupt. You guys are at least putting words in, even though it's not crazy when I have to remove people and do all those things. So 5 more minutes will be given, and in 5 minutes I'll be announcing who the winner is for Star Wars. Right now it is Obi uncontested, a total of 3,734 stars, all for Peter Obi. Every single star today for Peter Obi. So let us okay, I'm reading some of the comments, so I'm being distracted. So Peter Obi is leading right now. Tinubu, Atiku, where are you guys in the Star Wars? I also want to use this opportunity I also want to use this opportunity to very quickly remind you how to get the stars. All you need to do is go to your Facebook, search for Daddy Freeze, DADDYFREEZE. Search for Daddy Freeze. When you get there, scroll to today's video, click on the video, you will scroll down, bottom left-hand corner, you will see how to buy stars. Let me give a big shout out to everybody who's buying stars today. Odo Marvel Yole. Odo Marvel Yole is the highest star buyer for today with 2,035 stars for Peter Obi. Coco Boy Music came second with 1,500 stars. Big shout out to Emmanuel Okoye, Ifeanyi Charles, and I think that's everything so far. Big shout out to all of them. Thank you for the love and support, and thank you for coming through for your principal, Peter Obi. We basically have 3 people today: Odo Marvel Yole, Peter Obi with 2,000 stars, Coco Boy Music 1,500 stars, Emmanuel Okoye with 100 stars, and Ifeanyi Charles with 99 stars. So I really like to thank Odo Marvel Yole. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please go to Facebook and buy stars. We have 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes. Oh, that's Emmanuel Okoye. Emmanuel Okoye, thank you so much. Okay, so within 5 minutes, I'm going to announce the winner of the Star Wars. So Peter Obi is leading right now. No other person has done anything. It's a good year for Peter Obi. The way they're starting this year makes it look so well and amazing. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and 5-minute time limit. Remember, within 5 exact minutes, I will be announcing the winner of Star Wars.
Okay,
so if you guys are ready, let's.
So it's good we go back.
Happen.
Let's go. It's good we go back to the topic, right? It's good we go back to the topic. Now, like I said, any reform you want to do that does not ensure the rule of law, justice, and equity is pointless. Now, the APC and the PDP government in the past have no regard for the rule of law. That has been shown time without number by their flagrant
You can't keep saying that if your candidate got judgment from the law.
Finish talking. It's one
you
person at a
can't
time.
do that.
Please hold on. Let me read. You've been arguing something. Wait, hold on. Hold on, please. Let me say something.
Examples of what happened recently.
Anytime I make a point with you,
can't do that.
Anytime I make
the IG and that of the EFCC chairman.
Anytime I try.
A product of
hold on.
which you as a lawyer you probably know about.
Anytime I try to tell you something, you are always telling me we are deviating from the conversation. Let me read something out to you. Section 6 of the Code of Conduct, Bureau and Tribunal has stipulated that, where is it? Okay, he said that, I'm trying to find that, sorry.
When you're ready, you read.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
You can't find it. Okay, let me read.
Okay,
let me read what Asiwaju's solutions are.
You've not
introduced reforms for judicial independence.
The APC guy,
Tinubu's government will respect rule of law.
You guys have been in government for the past 8 years. You are the ones that provide easy on judicial reforms. Why did you bring it? That's because the judiciary is in a mess. What has your government done? Nothing.
Encourage equity before the law. Recommend review or amendment of outdated laws.
You are reading something
okay, I find it, please. I found it. Please, I found it. Please, I found it. Please, I found it. Mr. Sheyi, please, I found it. I found those 2 parts. The law number 1 that Peter Obi broke.
No.
The law number 1 that Peter Obi broke. Section 6 of the Code of Conduct, it said that a person is obligated to withdraw from engaging in any activities once he becomes a public office holder. Don't forget that it was during that time that Peter Obi was running business and he never declared his asset to us.
No, that's
So when
not
we are
true.
talking about
That's not
judicial
true.
reform, that is
That's
true.
you guys are just
2006.
you guys are just fond of peddling lies. That is not true.
This
He
is true. This is true.
from
He
all the companies
never
he was a director.
resigned. He never
Simple question.
resigned. It was when it became an issue
No,
for him. That was
no,
when
that's not true. That's not true. He
that is the
resigned. There's
fact.
no,
And that was
what
why I
fact?
was reading
What
this
fact?
section, Code of Conduct, to you.
What fact?
Is there?
So
Is there?
why did
Okay,
the
let me give you
government not
another one.
prosecute him? Simple question. Why did the government not prosecute
Oh,
him? Why did
they
the government not
persuaded
prosecute
him.
the
Wait, he
Because
was eventually persuaded.
it is part of
no
executive influence
no
in judicial
Obi
system.
was a member of ABGA then, for the records. Obi was a member of ABGA then, for the records. So stop peddling lies. Now you've read certain things. You've read certain things from your manifesto.
Okay,
And I said
let me give you
that
another one. The Section 99 Constitution also, it said that Nigerian public officers are expected to declare their assets immediately after they got to office.
Did
You
he
know,
not
it was
declare
the
he declared
Pandora.
his
It
assets?
was, he never,
He
no. It was the
declared
Pandora
his
paper.
assets.
No, bro, that's what I
You
said. And that was why I was reading
you
the
don't even know
Constitution out
what
to
you don't
you.
even know what you're talking about.
You know,
Pandora paper
no.
has got nothing to do
You
with
are the
declaration of
one.
assets.
You are the
He
one that
declared his
doesn't actually
assets.
know what you're talking
He declared
about.
his
He
assets.
doesn't declare his asset.
Your
If he actually
principal
declare
is
his
the
asset,
thief. That is what boss just said.
you know,
The
you don't
principal he
always have
worked with.
points.
Your principal is a big thief.
I
And
understand. You don't always have points. So,
if you look at both candidates, right, the PDAPC candidates, right, what is their source of wealth? Nobody knows.
Mr. Sheyi,
Peter Obi's
do
source
you
of wealth.
remember what
What is their source
happened
of wealth?
2020 about the Hensas case
principal
of a thing?
for the APC guy,
Do
your
you remember
principal
what
is a
happened?
well-known
You
drug
remember
lord.
that Ashiwaju, if it was actually about judicial reforms, he must have been able to come out and condemn that killing that happened in Lekki. Rather, what was he doing? He acted as if
But
nothing
there
happened.
has to be
It was
evidence of a
it was
killing
the
first.
campaign. It was the campaign season that even made Peter Obi to be associated with youth. It was only Alhaji Atiku Abubakar that said no. This kind of unjudicial killing must stop.
But there is no
And what we are
evidence.
saying is that
But they've been looking for the dead body. They've not found the dead body
and
yet.
yeah,
Now,
and that was
Well,
why I told you
so
that we need
let me ask you guys.
digitalization of our
there's
court
no evidence
processes.
of a
You
killing.
said
So why will we
something.
condemn a
You remember
killing that did
there was
not
this
happen?
girl. You remember this lady.
There are multiple
But
evidences.
we
There are multiple
couldn't find
evidences.
one. They've done all kinds of
No,
reviews after that,
how will you
and
find
they
one?
couldn't find
Have you
one.
forgotten you
So
guys? Have you forgotten you guys? You
You
actually
Atiku guy,
burnt that
do you
evidence
remember your
in Lagos
principal?
State
Your
that time.
principal
Do you
deleted
remember
a
that?
tweet about this girl that
Time,
was murdered in the
time,
north. Remember?
time up, everybody. Time up, everybody. Lovely hanging out with you guys. It was an amazing debate. Big shout out to Team Peter Obi, who outrightly won Star Wars. Outrightly, or maybe I should just give them 1 minute. 1 minute just in case, because it's just Peter Obi from morning to night. So maybe I should just give them 1 minute. Guys, if another person had nobody else, so let it not be like cheating. Peter Obi just bought the host. Nobody else said Pim, not even what's his name? Black Mentor. Black Mentor was too busy from yesterday, so he did not show up today. I don't blame him. So 8,300 stars, all belonging to Team Obi. Every single thing belonging to Team Peter Obi. I'm trying to see if I don't see Team Obi, Peter Obi, Team Obi, Team Obi, Peter Obi, Team Obi. I'm giving you exactly 60 seconds while I appreciate the callers. And you know what? They're each going to give their party notes. After the party notes, I'll announce so that it will not look like, because it just looks like Obi. It's like an Obi day. So 3 more minutes. Each person has 1 minute. How do you get stars? Go to Facebook, top right-hand corner, search for Daddy Freeze. When you see the Daddy Freeze page, click on it, go down to today's video, and get your stars. So starting with Team OB,
Yeah. Thank you.
your
for the
final
truth.
words.
The truth is that this election is about a character we can trust. Peter Obi has made his program known to the whole of Nigerians, right? His program is also contained in his manifesto. As opposed to other candidates, they make promises they don't keep. If you look at Peter Obi's track record, everything he made as a promise in Anambra State, Every single thing he made as a promise, he put 100% effort to achieve it, despite the hostile political environment he found himself. Because remember that time, as a governor, he was the only member of his party that was holding position in Anambra State. The state was practically controlled by the PDP there. So if somebody who has integrity, who has a character, who has a competence, who has a track record, right? If you look at other people, Atiku and Tinubu, they all have track record of corruption allegations, etc. Look at Peter Obi. He has a clean record. We know his source of wealth, right? He made money in the private sector, which they even admitted here that Peter Obi was an importer. Yes, he did that as a private citizen. He was importing goods. No doubt about it. He also had interest in the banking sector. So we know his source of income. Others don't know their source of income. Peter Obi has a track record. He's a character we can trust. As for the other people, all the things they say, they are just saying it just to buy your vote. Nigerians, please don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Look at somebody who promises and keeps his promise. Peter Obi, all the way. I also want to use this medium to wish all Nigerians a prosperous Obi Dati 2023 and Atiku and Bola Tinubu free 2023. Thank you.
All right, over to you.
All right. Well, how we say that we should vote rightly, because it's one thing for people in Nigeria to talk about issues happening in our country. It's another thing for someone abroad, to talk about things that needs to be done in Nigeria. We've been here for the past 8 years. We all know what has happened. We all know what we've actually been deprived of, and we can't afford that to happen again. Don't forget, Sir and Ma, that Peter Obi was once in PDP. He was the vice presidential candidate of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. If Atiku has won in 2019, today he will be called the vice president of Nigeria. So that means Obi is still a learner when it comes to politics. We need to vote someone who has expertise in the aspect of judicial reform, in the aspect of education, and all other sectors that deals with the quality, improving qualities of life and property in Nigeria. And you can see Alhaji Atiku Abubakar remained the only personality that respects all culture and have representation across board. Look at Team Asiwaju today is all Yoruba. Look at Team Obi today is all Igbos and people from the South. It is only Team Atiku that has representative from all regions, and that shows that we should vote for someone who has respect for inter-ethnic race, not someone who is dominated by a cultural race or the other. So 2023, February 2023, I want us to come out and vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Thank you.
All right. So finally, Tim Tinubu, your final parting thoughts, and immediately you're done, I'll announce winner of Star Wars. Go to Facebook, get your stars now. I'm announcing the winner in 1 minute. Okay, so official Asiwaju.
Thank you, Dad.
Go ahead.
I want to tell Nigerians that the legal system is important in everything you do. It regulates your relationship in commerce, regulates relationship with your family and friends, and also help you get justice. The biggest thing is for all people to have access to justice, and the justice system in Nigeria has a lot of problems that needs solving and providing solutions. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on page 66 of his manifesto, has looked at all this going from the history of Nigeria. We can all attack ourselves as candidates here, but the truth is that no one candidate caused the problem of judicial reform and judicial malady in Nigeria. Everyone has either benefited from it, or they have either benefited from it indirectly or directly. So some of the biggest problems that needs to be fixed with the judicial system in Nigeria is the delay in administration of justice. We know that that is a major problem. It discourages poor people from going to the court system, and we believe that Asiwaju has done some of that in Lagos State. The other one is corrupt and unethical practices within the legal system that sometimes reduce the appetite for people to go to court, and they end up using self-help to solve their problems. So we think that if Asiwaju is elected, he has said that he will encourage the National Judicial Council to implement more rules for the judges and legal practitioners to follow. And then the last one is the interference and independence of judiciary, which is necessary. All of these candidates has either benefited from it, either from help from their friends or by themselves. And we believe that should stop. And Asiwaju is willing to do that. Vote for Asiwaju 2023. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you all so very much. Do take care of yourselves. It's been wonderful.
Blank mentor.
Somebody don't buy like 6 billion.
Black
Somebody don't buy like 6
mentor
billion.
don't come. Within you expect black mentor
if the freeze do eyes like this, somebody don't impress her.
This not be black mentor. This is Team Bola Tinubu. Michael came through with 30,000.
We know the method. We come in at the dime minute. We make things happen.
What the?
That the freeze know we are on holiday now.
Spirit. We are too efficient.
We are the only one.
No, I see this is possible. I was about to open my mouth and say, ladies and gentlemen, let's just declare they dominated in the whole day. And it.
Tinubu is losing the election. Nigerians know better.
Oh, come on, man. That's not going to happen. It's already done. That's why I don't want to argue with you in Basbos, because you've already won already. So if I start making noise in Basbos, I'm just wasting my time.
No, if you that the phrase, you know one thing about you. That the phrase gave you 1 minute. You spent 3 minutes. I'm sure this is how Asiwaju will be doing if he eventually gets to presidency. You know, he will be reading papers. He will be reading papers and too boring for us.
Has the habit of making things happen. See,
That is
30,000.
That is maybe you can just give us a few minutes now. So people are having more. Okay.
Wait. Let me just ask you this, just for the sake of fun. Tinubu has won. Out of the blues, never seen it coming, never happened before in the history. But I want to ask, do you guys want to play? Should we give it 5 minutes so that Obitu can have opportunity?
Yeah, let's give them 5 minutes.
You don't win.
Let's give them 5 minutes. No, 5 minutes. That the freeze. Give them 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Obi. They've invested all the money in their private company now. They can't buy anything right now.
At least we don't steal money.
No. Listen,
we work hard for our money.
Don't you cook. That factor.
Wait. No. We are going to have an honorary bass booth for 5 minutes if you guys in this agree. So, Team Obi, the gentleman debating with us today, should we continue for 5 minutes or should we end?
I don't have
5 minutes. Team Atiku, should we go for 5 minutes?
Let's continue for 5 minutes.
I'm here with
5
them,
minutes or we
but
end.
I know they can't meet the 30,000, so that's fine. I'm here with them. I'll support them.
You know, we are on holiday, so we don't need to drag it with you. So, Mongoli is even afraid.
Mongoli, don't worry. Our people, we are ready to beat them.
Let me tell you why. Now, be honest. I only gave that last 3 minutes as an opportunity for somebody else to come in. So if I gave an extra time and it worked against Obi, I should be able to give an extra time so that it can all
go
balance.
To the ninth,
right? Because you should be in charge of our judicial reform. You should be in charge of our judicial reform, man. So that you bring equity. You bring equity to the Nigerian judicial reform.
No. A lot of people, all of a sudden, Bat can talk
The truth
now.
is this, it's not just about...
Someone says, can make 1,000 stars in 5 minutes. Obi, can you take your mandate back? Because you had the mandate.
They can't take it back.
Can you take it
We
back
are taking the mandate. Asiwaju are taking that mandate since Miloko. There's no mandate to fight for.
No.
The truth is that
Going to be 5 minutes. The 3 debaters have agreed. If one of them said no, it's different. The 3 of them have agreed. Here is the clock. Before I hit the clock, I'm going to tell you exactly how to buy the stars. Okay? Team Atiku, you can jump in now. Nobody's telling you where's Black
It's
Mentor.
an
You not call
holiday.
Black Mentor now.
It's an holiday.
Black yesterday he was up too late, so he don't sleep. So now I gave Peter Obi had won, and I said I was going to declare them winner, if you remember. I gave 3 minutes, and through that 3 minutes, Bola Tinubu came in. So it is also fair for everybody else to have this opportunity. Now, so that, because there are some people who don't know how to get the stars, how to play is so easy. Just go to Facebook. Log into your own account. While I'm talking, just be logging in, because without Facebook, you can't do anything. So go to Facebook. This is my Facebook here. Search for Daddy Freeze. You can see this little search bar here. That is how you search. Click on the search bar, type Daddy Freeze, DADDYFREEZE. It will bring out this page. You will scroll down and see a live video. That is it. Click on the live video. Once the live video pops up, bottom left, just right here, that's the star. Let me show you guys. That's the star right there, bottom left of the video on Facebook. Click on that star. It will pop these up. That is how you get stars. Team Peter Obi has 9,000 stars. Team Asiwaju has 30,800 stars. I know Black Mentor can enter this and close this gap in 5 minutes. Yeah. But I've never, Peter Obi usually take the whole show to get together, and they've done so well. Can they do magic in 30 minutes? Sorry, I said 30 minutes. In 5 minutes. All they need to do is they don't need to win. They just need to tie. Then we can go into injury time. Once they can tie, we go into injury time. If they cannot tie, Tinubu wins. The 5 minutes time limit starts now. And this is an honorary Gbasgbos session. You guys have 5 minutes of Gbasgbos to allow the last part of the Star Wars. Obi, you guys have done 9,000 to get to 30,000 is just 21K. You guys did it before. I've seen you people do it. Are you ready? 5 minutes. The time is about to start now. 3, 2, 1, and let the Gbasgbos and the Star Wars.
I'm going to throw a question to you guys, and let's just be a little bit academic here.
Yes, that's
so
right.
We know that there has been a bottleneck in the court system. Too many cases that are being delayed, and the biggest reason is because all these judges are working on multiple subject matter at the same time. So what do you think could be the solution from your own candidates? You know, what could be the solution? Because Asiwaju has a solution for it. But I want you guys to let's talk about that instead of attacking because let us be fair with each other. All these candidates did not create the system. That is the problem of judicial reform right now. Most people have gained out of it. So please, let's talk about that. How do you think that would work?
Yes, I'm going to answer your question. See, not based on my thoughts, right? I'm going to answer your question based on the programs of Peter Obi. Now, if you look at one of the things he said, because you understand as a lawyer, you understand that obviously the reforms he can bring per se is mostly on the federal level, right?
Yeah.
It's mostly on the federal level. And he has said something about appointing more judges, because the truth is that if you have more judges and you have more divisions, right? What happens is that these cases can be spread among these divisions. So if instead of having so many cases clustered in one division, it can be spread among different divisions. That would definitely reduce the workload of each judge. Number two, he talked about digitalizing the judicial system. So if you know that the filing system in Nigeria is a total mess as it is now, it's a total mess. So, and that's why sometimes even if you get an order made in your favor or a court judgment, what happens is that you then have to start settling bailiffs and sheriffs and all of that after paying the. So he's talking about digitalizing the system whereby you don't even need to have contact with the person. Everything will be done digitally. So it's going to cut out those bottlenecks and cut out the corruption involved in it. Okay. Those are some of the things he has said he's going to do in his program. And like I said before, let's hear Atiku's viewpoint before. Let me just round up my thoughts on that. Okay. The difference between a Peter Obi and Asiwaju and Atiku, the difference between them is that his program as contained in his manifesto is a direct product of his thoughts, because these are the things he was saying before his manifesto was even released, unlike your candidates. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Atiku, what do you think?
Well, I think I have to argue something with you. It is true that some problems are not created by these people, but it's also true that some of these people has capacity to improve the judicial system at state level, which they didn't do. And that was seen by during.
That could be said of your own principal too, because he had the opportunity at the federal.
No. The Constitution actually allowed him to be VP and to much focus on economy. Don't forget that. No.
You said you wanted
that would be a conflict of interest. No. That would be a conflict. He was not given he was not delegated to do that. And you know that the economic reform of a thing is even too much for him. Why? So that is a sector on his own. No, economy. No. Let me talk. Let me talk.
We agree.
Wait, let me talk. Wait.
We agree we're going to have a structured
discussion.
Wait,
let me talk.
So two people cannot be talking at the same time. If we agree we're going to have a structured discussion, then one person should talk, another person replies, please. That's why I'm quiet.
Okay, let me talk. Now, when we're talking about Peter Obi, he was there for 8 years, and there are a lot of judicial issues over there that were not solved.
You a question. Now, answer what will your principal do? That's the question.
I am creating narrative. You said we should not be talking. Two people should not be talking at the same time, and you violated it. And that's part of judicial reform we're talking about.
Because they're going
now, no. That's part of what we're saying. You're using your power here, so that's part of what we're saying in judicial reform. So now, no, I mean you are a distraction actually. Now that the freeze, please. So now what I'm saying there is that Alhaji, if he actually becomes the president, one of those things he's going to do is to ensure that there are enough capacity in our judicial system. And it's not all about getting capacity to work. It's also ensuring that there are enough remuneration for them. Their salaries and their pensions and their gratitudes are well paid accordingly. The next stage is courtroom technology. Okay, that the freeze is timing up.
That's fine. Good answers as far as I'm concerned. Good answers. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
But
well
this Peter
done,
Obi man.
So much.
We see February.
So much. Big shout out to Rume, came in last minute. You know, thank you guys so much. I must say this. Even though it seems like, or let me be very plain, Tinubu won today, I must give it up to Team Peter Obi in the Star Wars. There is no single episode of Star Wars that Peter Obi did not participate. must give that to them. There are some who do three shows. Tinubu will not buy 1 star. Until Black Mentor came and started pushing the narrative for Atiku. Nobody even used to buy stars. But there is no single episode that Team Obi, and that gives me hope in that candidate. Even though I'm neutral, I'm not supporting Obi, but if the fact that his people will put their money down, they will always, and it's never one person or two people, it's always a movement, and that's, with that, I would like to encourage them and appreciate them. I appreciate Team Obi for consistently showing your support for this channel. Big shout out to Priye, Diary of a Canadian Mom. You have more than any support my channel consistent.
But they are not.
But today,
Daddy Freeze, they are not going to be consistent to the presidency. Why you party?
No. We're winning. We're winning this election.
We have a movement too. Ashiwaju's movement is not.
No. Ashiwaju is not a
and
movement.
when we show up big. That's what happened today.
An old
we
politician.
show up big. We don't come and small every time. When we show up with, you feel us.
No. You see, let me tell you, when statistics are taken,
that's true.
Pregnant women, childbirth, accidents, everything that's statistics, everything for this life. The way the team are supporting na statistics, I watch it every time. They don't always win, but they are always there.
Number is important because it's one man, one vote.
They shake body, and I see. One thing I see with Team Obi is I see a lot of young people each bringing something to the table.
Not Nigeria.
Yeah.
Well,
how did you know I'm in the US?
I'm using.
Okay, abroad. Let me use the word abroad.
Why do you think I'm not in Nigeria?
You're not in Nigeria. You're not in Nigeria. I can do the analysis for you.
Beyond any doubt, Team Ashiwaju, out of nowhere, claimed today. I appreciate Team Ashiwaju and the gentleman behind this, a guy called Michael. The Obis were hard on this, down to my brother Brume. Brume came and wrote PO. Do you need to introduce who you are supporting, Brume? We know you are Peter Obi. So, as I see you, I say Brume. Brume is the only person who consistently takes part in both the debate and the Star Wars. In fact, I should give Brume an award. Brume will come to Star Wars before any day he's part of the debate. Even if not 10 stars, he go first go there, go drop the stars. I appreciate that, brother. And he's for Team Peter Obi. I appreciate that. You love and support the channel. It's not easy. If I were talking about gossip now, these 400 people you are seeing, you will see 1,000. And it will be like that across all platforms. But let's use this opportunity to educate ourselves about politics. Every week, every Tuesday, you hear these people talk. They'll say something about Peter Obi. You go and verify. They'll say something about Tinubu. You are having a broader perspective on the subject of politics. And it does help. So please, it's not easy for me to do it. Because, to be honest, it is one of the least revenue generating shows, if not for the stars. No matter, sometimes I forget to even announce stars. I go down, talk. I say, oh yeah, let me just even say. But your support for my channel goes a long way, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Brume. Thank you, Team Obi. Thank you, Michael, who single-handedly did 32,800 stars. That is scary. Michael, I love you. I love Team Obi. I love Bongo Lee. I love everyone. I love Femi Adeniran, one guy who consistently comments on my page, whether it has to do with politics or not. He's always there. He's always on my life. Him and Peter Ebojele. Don't think I don't see these things. I appreciate you guys. Some people say, Daddy Freeze, you always block people. Without these people, you will not have a channel. No. Without these people you are seeing on my live, these three people here, without Priye, Bongoli, without Musti, I will not have a channel. Not you that comes to my channel once in a week and comes to talk nonsense. Without Peter Ebojele, without Femi here, without DJ Bongoli, I will not have a good channel. Those are the people I appreciate. Those are the people whose opinions matter. Those who will come whether or not it is rosy, and those who come and buy the stars to show love. Black Mentor, today you did not come through. I will still appreciate your patronage. I will appreciate your stars. I'll appreciate everything. You and your beautiful wife, I love you guys abundantly. You guys did so much last year to make the channel grow and to keep me here in the middle of the night when everybody else is sleeping. Thank you all so much. My vote of thanks goes to you all. Thank you, team leaders, Priye, Bongoli, Musti. Thank you for making this show a success. Thank you, all of you who come and watch. Thank you, all of you who argue and do basbos. Thank you all. Happy New Year, everyone, and may the elections favor Nigeria.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Amen.
I mean, Peter Obi,
Current predicament.
Amen.
Are you still not satisfied with that prayer? That's what we are saying now. General prayer for that matter.
May the best
Peter
man to solve Nigeria's current
Amen.
predicament.
Amen.
Thank
Thank you for saying amen to that.
Amen. All right. Thank you, Daddy. Please. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
And God bless.
Bye.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you.